So apparently I'm visiting...
Skellefteå.
That's not a real word!
Skellefteå.
What is that? I'm sorry.
Skellefteå.
No, I'm sorry, that's just you making noises. I don't believe that.
Skellefteå.
Oh, please. Bloody Swedes. Skarvi grilla. I will use that phrase at least once when I'm in Sweden. That I can tell you. You see, nobody in the channel knows this either. You know, apparently that's how it actually sounds. Yes, there you go. That is the place that... the left eel. Yes! It is delicious. Oh, God. Dear God in heaven. Dunga. Right, okay. That's where I'm gonna be, folks. That's where the Magicka officers are. That's where I'm gonna be. Okay. We're gonna talk about Rift and why I don't care. Now, this is not a harsh criticism of Rift, or the people that are deciding they want to go play Rift. It should not be misconstrued as such. It's awesome to see how crazy some people are. They really, really are crazy. Yeah. A recent tweet by BB from MMO Champion should indicate exactly what I mean. Yeah. Oh, man. It's pretty bad. It's called Booble Reaching on MMO Champion. So we pushed the issue of why Curse doesn't have a subforum for Rift, and we got Booble to rage. God. Dear Lord. MMO Champion is a frickin' WoW site. Have you not realized this? People love the conspiracy theories. They really, really do. An example of one of these conspiracy theories is, why don't you play Rift or Minecraft? Do you think you are above them? How exactly am I above a video game? I mean, that doesn't make any frickin' sense. You know, if it was a person, then maybe, just maybe, I can consider it. It's like, oh, you think you're above this person? You know, that would make sense, at least. Are you above this video game? What do you mean above this video game? I don't even know, man. I do not even know. Crazy. I'm not above playing any kind of video game, and I do actually mean this as well. People make these comments about me not playing Minecraft. I play Minecraft. I play a lot of Minecraft. I just have no interest in making videos about it. Is it okay for me to have a game that I play and don't have to make videos out of? Please let me have one. Every time I log on to Steam, I'm going to point this out. Every time I log on to Steam, and I start playing a game, I will immediately, without question, at some point in the play session, get a message that says, are you gonna make any videos about this game? Could I just not enjoy the very limited free time I have? Oh, there is no game. There is no game I'm allowed to play anymore. Oh dear. Minecraft is actually one of the only games I get to enjoy without making videos out of, because I said, I put it straight out there, no, I'm not making Minecraft videos because, you know, the main reason I'm not making Minecraft videos is because I can't make better Minecraft videos than Yogscast. It's as simple as that. Do you have any idea how much time they spend setting that stuff up? It is unbelievable the amount of work they put into that. I can't compete with that, so why even bother? Oh yeah, let's crap out a subpar product just because I know it'll get views. Who the hell do you think I am? Jeez, if I want views, I'd be doing nothing but Call of Duty and Minecraft. All the frickin' time. Screw Azeroth Daily, that takes way too much time. Just crap out the content. Now with Rift, there's a couple of reasons why I'm not playing that. One of them is business related and one of them is personal. The business-related reason is that there's two channels that have already covered Rift on our network in a fairly large amount of detail, i.e. that being OMFG Kata and, of course, Blue Zephos. So, I see no reason to check it out. Plus, it's way too late to do that anyway. They're on the last public beta. You can go check it out for yourself, for God's sake. Massive care. I've got closed beta invites to stuff that you don't have. Like, say, Black Prophecy. I've got a beta invite to that. A couple of other MMOs whose names I can't even remember. Natural Selection 2, I've got closed beta on that. I'm getting closed beta access to a whole bunch of other stuff. I'd rather show you that than show you something that you can already check out publicly. It's as simple as that. However, the point that I'm going to go on to now is the second reason that I am not producing Rift videos and why I'm not playing Rift at all. I have no interest in it. It's because it's yet another hotkey MMO. And I think that hotkey MMOs are dead. You might think that's a rather extreme view, and then I remind you which show you're listening to. That's probably the least extreme thing I've said all day. I don't think that hotkey MMOs have anywhere to go from here. I really don't. None. And that's a problem. Because a lot of games are still designing their MMO systems based on the hotkey idea. Now, what do I mean by hotkey MMO? I mean press 2 to make Fireball. Press 3 to make Ice Ball. Stuff like that. That's what I mean. That's out of date. WoW, as far as I'm concerned, was the last great hotkey MMO. It was the apex of the hotkey MMO. It's got nowhere to go from here. Tell me, how do you improve on that formula? Bear in mind, it's a fairly limited formula to begin with. It's like saying, how do you improve on table tennis? It's like, oh, you know, maybe we can improve on table tennis. No, you can't. You can't improve on table tennis. You want to know why? Because table tennis has such a limited scope to begin with. Hotkey MMOs have such a limited scope in terms of their combat. Why do they have such a limited scope? That should be fairly obvious to you. Because it's press 2 to make Fireball, press 3 to make Ice Ball. You can't deviate from that. That is as far as it goes. WoW is the best hotkey MMO because that hotkey system feels so damn tight and responsive. Have you played other games that use that? Warhammer Online is a great example of this because I felt this the entire time that I played it. That, again, was also a hotkey MMO. I felt in that game that the combat system was sluggish and unresponsive, yet it was pretty much almost identical to the way WoW's was. Sure, it has a few bells and whistles, like the different modes of stances and things like that, but in reality, it's pretty much the same thing. All of the basic mechanics are identical. All of the methods in which it allows you to control your character are identical. And as a direct result of that, it was not for me. I stopped playing that game, and one of the main reasons was the combat system. It's like, oh, it's like WoW, only not as good. I know the world was not enough to immerse me. I would love to say that it was, because I'm such a Warhammer freak. Admittedly, mostly 40k, but fantasy's still pretty good as well. So, I would love to say that I adored that game, but I didn't. I didn't. Rift is yet another hotkey MMO. It's as simple as that. It is yet another hotkey MMO. And that's bad. I don't care if you can improve on every single system that WoW has. If you make the classes more interesting, if you make the dungeon content more interesting, if you make the questing more interesting, if you make the raiding more interesting, if you make the PvP more interesting, if you make it a more dynamic world, I don't care. You want to know why I don't care? Because I played a hotkey MMO for 6 years. I'm still subbed. 1. Do I really want to abandon 6 years worth of work to start afresh on another game that is just World of Warcraft with a different, darker theme? Because let's not mince any words here, that is what Rift is. We're not in Azeroth anymore. Yeah, you're right, you've got a different coat of paint, and you've got different classes, and everything you do might be stellar. It might be really good. And I don't care. Because I've had it with hotkey MMOs. I have. Hotkey MMOs are a relic of the past. You want to know why they're a relic of the past? Because they were designed for one reason. And that one reason was the technical limitations of the time. They do not have let's try that one again. Intricate combat systems because the netcode could not support it. That's why they are not the way that, say, Vindictus is right now, or even DC Universe. Vindictus and DC Universe are the future of MMOs. When it comes to MMO RPGs, we're not talking about MMO FPS or MMO racing or MMO strategy. We're talking about MMO RPGs. The future of that system is within Vindictus and within DC Universe. And that is a more engaging, more direct, and more complex combat system that is more along the lines of a spectacle fighter on a console than it is on a button-pressing hotkey MMO. I'm trying to think of a scenario where I would ever be lulled into going to play Rift. It doesn't matter how good it is. I mean, right now, I can make the basic assumption that Rift will be a failure like everything else. I can especially make the assumption that it will be a failure on the basis of the fact that it directly compares itself to World of Warcraft. That was dumb. Don't do that. I've seen people do that before, and it didn't work. Possibly even better games. Hey, Warhammer Online, developed by an experienced MMO developer that made Dark Age of Camelot, which is actually a good game. Mythic. Is it Mythic? God, I hope it's Mythic. Anyway. The point of the matter is that they failed. Aeon. Or Ion. Whatever the hell you want to call it. It's the WoW killer. No, it wasn't. Final Fantasy XIV. It's the WoW killer. No, sorry, I'm lying. Nobody ever actually believed that. Final Fantasy XIV was a goddamn disaster. Every hotkey MMO that has come in since World of Warcraft has failed. It might still be alive, but barely. It's holding on by a thread. In comparison to WoW, not even close. I think possibly the only one that has been even remote... Actually, no. Indeed. Come to think of it. Didn't EverQuest 2 come out a couple of weeks before WoW? So my analogy, or not indeed just my analogy, my facts are, I think, straight on that one. I'm fairly sure EverQuest 2 came out a few weeks before WoW. Whatever the case. Every hotkey MMO that has come out since WoW has failed. And I think it's simply because WoW has nailed it. And you could turn around and say, oh, well, the Old Republic's going to be a WoW killer. Might very well be, but I would come to the conclusion there that the Old Republic is sufficiently different from World of Warcraft to potentially survive on its own, and indeed also has a very, very, very good license. The system behind the Old Republic is the same as a single-player RPG, as opposed to an MMO. It's an interesting point, really. The Old Republic, for me, is always... Everything I've seen of the Old Republic seems like it doesn't really have to be an MMO, and it's only an MMO because it will actually make a lot of money by being one. It's the only reason that it's not the Old Republic, indeed Knights of the Old Republic 3, with a multiplayer component. It's like, well, what can we tack on to MMO elements so that we can milk it more? Yeah, I suppose so, but pretty much everything in there is single-player friendly. All of the main meat of the content seems to be single-player friendly. Then, of course, you get your PvP and everything tacked onto that. And I think that was the design philosophy behind it. I don't think that's a bad thing, necessarily. But I have doubts as to whether people will continue playing it after the first couple of months. I don't know. The raid content and the PvP content, etc. would have to be sufficiently engaging. As opposed to just saying... And indeed, maybe that's the problem with having something like the Old Republic, with the way that the storyline actually works. Like, oh, we're going to integrate real storylines into it. Well, doesn't that mean once the storylines are done, people will just quit? There's a possibility. But when it comes down to things like Rift, which is the most direct comparison that we can possibly give, it is a hotkey MMO, and I don't care. And that's why it's the combat system. It's the immersion that I can get from the combat system. It's the fact that pressing button to make thing happen is really boring now. It was cool 6 years ago. It's not cool anymore. I'm sorry, it's not. It's dull. I cannot get my head over that point. And I cannot push myself past this block in my mind now that says, why, Total Biscuit, why would you waste time with another button pusher? Another hotkey-based MMO? And the conclusion I have to come to every single time is, I wouldn't. If I want to play in another MMO, I will play Eve, or I will play Black Prophecy, or I will play PlanetSide Next, and you're damn right I will. I will play DC Universe, I will play Vindictus when they finally make it available to the EU. But I will not play another WoW, which is what Rift is, regardless of what it tries to claim otherwise. My name is Total Biscuit, you are listening to Blue Please right here on CynicalBrit.com. I will be right back after this, folks. I think I'll give you some old school In Flames. Yes, why not? Why not? Why not? Yeah. Which one? Oh, it's such a tough choice. It's such a tough choice. We'll go with this one. It's awesome. It's called Zombie Incorporated. Enjoy.